Thrill Seekers and welcome along to another ride through London. A relatively quick one today because, well, should have been a relatively quick one because we're only popping over from Waterloo, the Old Vic, over the river into Covent Garden. In fact, we get to Covent Garden in about 7.5 minutes, I think, and the rest of the video is just spent watching me parking, so there's interesting. So Waterloo Station here on the left, and in fact, that little food stall there has been there since I was a lad because I used to go there with my dad, who used to work at the National Film Theatre on the South Bank, and on our way home we'd stop there and get a little hot dog. Of course, it's all changed quite a lot since those days. This enormous block of flats, and in fact the BFI IMAX cinema is a relatively recent addition there. Great use for this roundabout. I mean, why not? Build a cinema in the middle of a roundabout. Because you have to get to it via these underground tunnels, which is a little bit intimidating. I mean, they've made them bright and cheerful, but still, you wouldn't want to risk the traffic around Waterloo roundabout. So just joined Waterloo Bridge now, and National Theatre on the right, and the Hayward Gallery here on the left. Just get a view of the festival hall behind it, and let the bus out, I think. Rule 223 in the Highway Code, and good karma. Queen Elizabeth Hall on the left there. Not quite such a good view with all this building work going on, but there's the National Theatre in all its glory. There's a certain symmetry here already, of course, because the National Theatre used to be based in the Old Vic where we started this film, and they moved to that building in '76. Prince Charles once said it was a very clever way of building a nuclear power station in the middle of London without anybody noticing. But I think it is an amazing building, especially inside. Great view over the city in the distance there down the river, and then looking back the other way to the London Eye. And looking back towards the South Bank complex, you can just see the festival hall over my right shoulder there. Just taking the view in there. No matter how many times you do it, crossing the river still is a bit of a special experience, especially on a day like this. Waterloo Bridge is a perfect photographic location for views of the city on the right and looking left down to Westminster and Battersea. But it's getting harder and harder to actually get across the bridge with all these barriers. Now, I was going to take us up Aldwych, but I think that traffic looks particularly bad, so plan B perhaps. And I'm thinking, well, there's another way of doing this, so let's nip over here and we can go down the Strand Underpass, which normally I have to admit is highly amusing. It was more amusing back in the old days when you could do about 50 miles an hour down here, but I mean, I'm all old and sensible now. But it's still fun. There's great elevation changes. You go whizzing down and then slam your brakes on because somebody is literally doing about 8 miles an hour here. And there is no fun. I mean, 20's fine. 8, silly. Kind of takes the excitement out of this. Yeah, so there's elevation changes here, and it's narrow, and it twists, so it's all going on. It's an exciting tunnel. And as I say, it was particularly exciting when there were no cameras around back in the day when I was young and happy. Anyway, there we go. Sped up slightly. Realise he's not going to die in here. And so we pop ourselves out onto Kingsway. Now, if we bear left on the exit of this tunnel, checking that bus lane sign on the left there to make sure we're allowed in, which we are, we can hang a left here, and that'll take us right down Drury Lane and into Covent Garden, and maybe not then. Okay, we'll try this next left here. Now, I've not been down this road before, but it runs parallel with the road that we know works, so it's getting a bit narrow, looking a bit dead-endish. Yes, there's a reason I've not been down that road, and that's because it's completely useless. Wild Court. More like Furious Court. No, not furious yet. No, still calm. That's fine, although the day maybe is starting to go wrong slightly. We've got one road closed and we've been down one dead end, but there's lots of other options. In fact, I know the next left will definitely take us into Covent Garden, unless they've closed that, of course. Now, a bit tedious to be stuck in traffic here, but I don't think there's any way around. Ah, Leon. Love Leon. Not a very busy one, that. Strange location. I don't think it ever was particularly busy, but especially in these slightly strange times. They used to do a lovely chicken chorizo rice dish, but for some reason they've taken it off the menu, which is a bit, I don't know, a bit hurtful, to be honest. Anyway, still delicious. Bit of a blinding light here, even with my chips shades on. Oh, Freemasons Hall here on the left. It's an incredible building, but I don't know anything about the Freemasons, so there's sort of a couple of heavies standing outside, not exactly welcoming me in. Now, just nip over Drury Lane, all the theatres, and that takes us onto the top of Longacre. And if we take a left in a little while, that takes us down to the Opera House, and right by the Opera House there is the most perfectly situated motorcycle parking bay, which is as close as you can go. Well, there's the Opera House, and there is a closed road, and there is my cursing face. Anyway, not to worry, there are other options. So we're in Covent Garden because I was photographing some lifestyle shots down in the Cut and a nice pedestrian street down there in Waterloo called Upper Marsh. Lots of food stalls, lots of activity, and part of the same job they want some shots of the piazza. And it's a beautiful afternoon, and it seems like an ideal opportunity, and since they're quite close together, well, 7 minutes apart in fact, there's a motorcycle bay there. I think there might have been a space there, but we'll come back to that if it all goes wrong. It's a bit far away for me, because I'm being lazy. Oh, now here's a man spraying the road. Now, I don't want him to spray me, so if I just now accelerate very quickly past him. Nothing worse is that when you've got a clean car or a motorcycle and somebody sprays it. Now, there's a motorcycle parking spot down here on the left, but I think we can get closer really. Yeah, there's a space in, there might have been a space in there, but there's one, on Garrick Street down here, there's a motorcycle bay on the right hand side which we're going to aim at, which if I can get in there, that's a very short walk into Covent Garden Piazza, which is down here on the left. So we'll just do a quick whiz around here. There's the piazza down there. We'll turn around and just have a look at this motorcycle bay here. Go on the left. Any room in there? No, actually, I don't think. Oh, maybe. I think it was a bit tight actually. It's quite a wide bike, and I've got an enormous top box on the top, and you just get a feeling that some things are a little bit tight. But I'll tell you what we'll do. We'll nip back, although we're in a sort of one-way system here. And what I should have done, of course, is taken a left here, and that's where we end up at the end of the video. But no, I'm going to stick to my guns, and I'm, digging my heels in, and we're determined to find a space nearer to the piazza. But on the right, I can just see a guy reversing his motorcycle into what might have been the one last free spot in that bay. Now that could be a bit tedious. Let's have a look. We'll go up Longacre, and yeah, there's definitely parking up there. Anyway, never mind. We'll go up Longacre. Now I know there's no parking spots on Longacre. Well, not free ones for motorcycles anyway. It's £1 a day to park in Westminster, which is pretty good value, and there's usually some spaces around. It's still a £60 fine if you don't pay your £1, which seems a bit over the top. John Logie Baird made his first TV broadcast from Longacre. Pineapple Dance Studios on the left, just behind us. And there's the tube station on the right, and down there is the piazza, which is where I want to be. Until 1974, Covent Garden, the piazza, was actually a fruit market, and I'm old and crusty enough to remember it as that. Now, if we nip down Endor Street... Oh, hello, he's going over there, right, well, we'll just nip this side of him there. We'll nip down Endor Street, and we'll go back to that first bay. Oh, now, hang on. He's got a bit stuck here, isn't he? Because there's a big bollard there. I suppose. Yeah. I just want to nip in front of these cars. If I get in quick, I don't think I can overtake the lorry. But if I nip in front of that Toyota Prius, sorry. Ooh, tempting to... Oh, look at me, actually. No, that would be dangerous and silly to get out there, so I won't. We'll just follow him slowly. Slightly oversized vehicle for this... these narrow old streets. So for the second time along Shelton Street, crossing over Neal Street, and all these people are going to cross there. There's crossing. Oh, the cyclist, are he going to go over? No, he's going. It looked like everybody was going to cross there for a minute. Now, why is our lorry stopping? I think I might just have a gap here. I can nip round. And, oh, can I? Oh, no, he's moving. We're all right. Well, I'll just be patient for once, and we'll just keep on following him, because hopefully we're going to park up very soon in the bay on the right. Although, like Groundhog Day, the first time I saw it, I wasn't convinced there's quite enough room, and it's a little bit of a trek to the piazza. I mean, you know, it's only a 5-minute walk, but yeah, I think that's a last resort. Now, I wonder if Mr. Spray Gun's going to be still spraying here. That lorry decided to drive all over the pavement, and Mr. Spray Gun's gone, which is good. Oh, he's on the left-hand pavement now. Well, needs must, I suppose, but good job somebody's not there walking their little dog. Get the fright of their life. Right, back onto Upper St Martin's Lane, and let's have a look at this bay down the bottom. If I can just have a little squeeze down here while the lights are red in front of us. Now, oh no, that space has gone. That's another irritated face. Now, what I should have done now was actually just gone straight down St Martin's Lane and given up. But no, like a fool, we'll do Longacre one more time. Here we are again, for the last time back at the tube station. That's one of the few stations in London which has no escalators. It's only accessible by lift, or 193 steps. And I did that once, and don't really want to do it again, thank you very much. So while we nip round Endor Street again, I'll let you have a listen to this rather remarkable sampled instrument I found. I put these music tracks together in Logic, and this is part of the Native Instruments Complete Pack. And it's a Scarbee A200, but it is mesmerizingly realistic. That piano, by the way, is another sampled instrument, but this time it's of Alicia Keys's very own piano. Now, more to the point, let's see if we can... That does look narrow. Honestly, it's always looked narrow, and crunch. It still looks narrow, and now I've got a van bearing down on me, so no, we'll give up on that one. Oh, yes. A little sigh there, I think. I don't give much away there, do I, really? Could be a face of frustration, joy, sadness, all of the above. Anyway, it's a face of resignation, I think, in this case, because I'm going to give up on any of these bays in Covent Garden. We're going to head straight back down now, St Martin's Lane. So we're not going to turn left up Long Acre. We're not going to turn second left up down Garrick Street. Oh, Leicester Square there on the right. Yes, down St Martin's Lane. At the end of St Martin's Lane on the left here is the Coliseum, which is the home of the English National Opera. Obviously shut at the moment, but it is London's largest theatre. Can't quite remember, it's something like 2,500 seats. Yeah, that one with the globe on the top. And the globe is still rotating, which is sweet. Even though the theatre is shut, the globe is still rotating. Because the world keeps turning. St Martin in the Fields Church ahead of us, National Portrait Gallery on the right, and if you just look through the gap you can see Nelson's Column, because that is Trafalgar Square, where we're going to go actually on the next ride, because after this I need to go and photograph the Houses of Parliament, but I've got a funny feeling it might be a bit too dark by then, but please join me on that ride. Please subscribe as well if you'd like to see more of these, and like the video, it all helps. So even though I could have actually walked from Waterloo to Covent Garden in the time that's taken to find somewhere to park, finally the bike has found a resting place and I can go and take some photographs.